people are always trying to find the easy way out.
100%. I don't want to do the work.
I don't want to do the work. Let me
find
talk about the work. Yeah.
This is the blue pill. This is the magical pill everyone's been looking for.
Yeah.
Oh, hello. We're talking about my tits.
Most of the time.
Girl on girl on girl.
You would.
Like, stop picking up the fucking hot knife.
Fucking cares.
Right on track.
Ugh.
With a lot of money, I would do great fucking things.
But not in a good way.
Yikes.
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 Yikes. Where's the realness?
Yeah. Everything you want. Immaculate experience.
Back down.
Be getting like excited.
I do actually.
We need the tequila.
Okay. Here we are, back in action. You won't know this, but Riverside decided to take us on a little side quest there. But returning back to what Christine was saying, like, I think using AI can be helpful, but for a lot of people, they're using it to really outsource themselves. And I think it's kind of lazy. And I really do. Like, and I also think that it's kind of a slippery slope. If you stop learning how to write for yourself or think for yourself and you're always outsourcing it, and whether it's AI or your Aunt fucking Sally or your boyfriend or your parents, like, whenever we're that externally focused, like, we're not internally connected. And so that to me is like the bigger kind of issue at play here is like how many people are now like using AI to kind of be more externally focused, which, like, what is the long-term impact of that internally with your connection to self and your ability to bring ideas through to form, you know, and see your vision for yourself and your life really come to life by your own accord, not some artificial intelligence that is telling you what to do and how to do it. Like, it's so fucking wild to me.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of this mass production right now as well of like more is more is more.
Right.
Yeah. And I think this is also an interesting thing that people are getting taken out of. And it's leading to massive dysregulation with people. There's this like belief that like, okay, I need to be producing more content. And then because there's a lot of external pressure as well to perform and to create, it puts a lot of strain and it puts a lot of stress on our nervous systems. And when we have strain and stress and we're creating from pressure, we don't have creativity. It goes offline. And so what happens when it goes offline is that we feel like we don't have any inspiration. And rather than regulating and learning tools to bring ourselves back into a regulated state, because when we're regulated, we have crazy downloads, we have superhuman intuition, we have knowings, we have crazy things that we can bring into the world. Rather than learning that because it's harder and it takes more effort, then we'd rather go on to AI and to source something that isn't ours. Now the problem with AI is that, again, it works. Listen, I'm not saying it doesn't work. It works for a lot of people, and there are business models that work so well with it. I don't shit on AI at all. It's not that. It's that it doesn't hold the same vibrational frequency as our magic. You can't, what did I write earlier when I was going for a walk? I was like, magic holds an untouchable frequency that we all have. And so when we're outsourcing it, I think people can feel it. And I think that, I don't know, everything's become artificial. And I'm seeing a lot of really powerful creators being like giving up all of their energy because they're so burnt out and tired. And so again, rather than reevaluating their model, the business model, or whether they're being called from spirit to like do something in a different way or to reinvent themselves or reinvent their work, it's just like, I'm going to push through and slog and I'm just going to have AI create for me. And again, it's fine even for a temporary thing. Again, I don't like to villainize anything, but when we're using ChatGPT to build our portfolio, our work, do everything behind the scenes to get us, you know, kind of implementing in all ways. Plus it's our therapist, plus it's our like, you know, guru. It's a slippery slope. And I know some people are getting freaked out by it right now. And I'm like, oh my God. And they're like panicking. And I'm not into that either because I'm like, AI is here.
It's not going anywhere.
It's not going anywhere. And so what kind of relationship do I want to have with it?
Totally.
and how can it serve me, and how can I use it where I have like a really good energetic around it. Because I think also fighting it and getting taken out by it, because there's sort of those two camps. There's either like the super users or the turbo against it. And it feels like it's COVID 2.0 again. It feels like this is a COVID 2.0. It's like a new way to divide people. And we see this a lot with politics and with war. And it feels like right now, I'm like, if I look outside in the world, I'm like, this feels like COVID again. It's just a different, it's morphed into something different. And I'm like, let's stop fighting these things that we don't like, but how about we just double down on our authenticity, which is why you and I have the Club Unhinged, is because it's a space and place where you come home to your magic, you come home to your authentic vibrational signature, who you are, and that translates into your work and your life and your business and everything that you do in the world. And so, you know, I think it's just looking at your relationship with AI. And it's like, is this healthy? Is this a toxic relationship? Am I looking at AI to completely take my creativity offline? And they've actually been doing studies showing that people who use it a lot, there's actually parts of their brains that are no longer being activated.
I believe that.
And they're no longer working super efficient. You know what I mean? Like they're actually starting to like deteriorate, and what we don't use, we lose, right? And so I just don't. What my concern would be is if a lot of creators are doing this, and then, you know, like anything, AI can change, or it can become totally different, or become an addiction, or all sorts of different things, or let's say it magically disappears, or whatever. Like crazier shit has happened. What will happen to you if you've completely relied and sourced something outside of yourself to create? Like I see a lot of this almost like flatlining of people being tapped out, being like, oh my God. And it also feeds, I think, and drives this hustle culture of like, okay, now that I have AI, I can do 1,000 times more. And it's like, well, is the 1,000 times more in alignment? Does that actually make you happy? Or are you just in that like crazy, frenetic, chaotic current that is, you know, mass production that doesn't serve the world or ourselves or connection or authenticity at all?
Totally. 100%. I find it so interesting too around as a creator, as a creative, and if you are using AI to essentially like establish your brand voice and pump out content for you, there is this massive split that happens between your persona online and then who you are in reality. So like if you ever do a podcast interview, or you go speak on a stage, or you just have a fucking conversation with someone and AI has been talking for you,
So articulate.
you know, and then you go and you be you, and like they're like night and day. This is a fucking problem. Like, you don't think that that's going to have a massive impact on your brand or your reputation? Like, come on. Like,
Totally.
we really need to think about this. And yeah, it is the more extensive path to, you know, go down the route of finding out who you are and like refining your voice and fucking up and making mistakes and learning from those mistakes and like developing your intuition. Like that's a more gritty path, and people are always trying to find the easy way out.
100%. I don't want to do the work.
I don't want to do the work. Let me
find
talk about the work. Yeah.
This is the blue pill. This is the magical pill everyone's been looking for.
Yeah. And like so many people have fallen for it. They're like, yeah, give me the fucking pill. Give me the thing that makes it easy so that I can get rid of my humanity. I don't have to walk through all of the gauntlets that being human is actually about, and I can somehow bypass it. And I'm going to be so curious to see like the long-term impact of this when you finally like see that split in real life. Like imagine someone building like a whole coaching program and like business and then enrolling all these people, and then they get in the room with that person and they can't even fucking put a sentence together.
They're on the the Zoom call. They're like, this is not a program, dash. It is a portal. Oh shit! I'm reading what Chat GPT told me to say, and then you like glitch out. You're like, you don't know what to say. You're like, where my Chat GPT? Where did my script go? Where did it go? Where did it go? Right? And like people can feel that. They can feel when you know, and it's interesting because I'm seeing it online. There's a lot of people who, even if they're using ChatGPT for inspiration, they're not using it for inspiration. They're literally
Mm-hmm.
copy and pasting. Like it's
Yes.
copy,
Yes.
paste, and you can read it. And the minute I see it, I'm like, next, I can't.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just like it because there's nothing, there's no heart, there's no soul,
Mm-mm.
there's no heartbeat in it. And again, I'm not shitting on AI for like, if there's things I'm not tech savvy enough to know behind the
Sure.
scenes, like I'm sure there's certain automations and there's things that we
Mm-hmm.
can be doing to be able to, and that you and I might even utilize it within the
Yeah.
brand, like behind the scenes to be able to help us, you know, streamline some of the stuff. But when it comes to the way that we teach and the way that we are, I think I really do believe that like the things that have been around forever, nature, authenticity, human connection, co-regulation, like you can't co-regulate with AI. So even
No.
if you're using AI to create or to be your therapist or your fucking coach or whatever it is, it's like you can't co-regulate with it. So
Mm-hmm.
from a mental perspective, there may be an understanding and an awareness, but you will not actually change your vibration. You will not change.
Mm-hmm.
You can't digest trauma in your system. You can't do that healing work with AI because
No.
it isn't, do you know
Human.
what I mean? It's not human. And so you can have a lot of cognitive awareness around something, but the embodiment piece, and like anything in the industry, the coaching industry, personal development industry blew up obviously in 2020. Everything went online. In the last few years, it's gone kind of, it's like the wild, wild west out there. But I think that authenticity will be the winner that comes through all of this.
Mm-hmm.
And embodiment, because it's something that you can really feel. And I
Yeah.
think that that's why I really believe in Club Unhinged, because that is really where you're coming home to yourself and your
Mm-hmm.
creations, and then use AI to help you streamline and to amplify your
Mm-hmm.
vision and your work, but you're not using AI to create the vision and what you
Mm-hmm.
should be doing, because again, that also isn't coming from soul. It's coming from a place of like, ooh, maybe I can make a lot of money and I can make it
Mm-hmm.
fast. AI, hey, ChatGPT, make me a PDF that tells people, you know, what's the most popular things right now that are going to help
Mm-hmm.
people and I make me a lot of money, right?
Mm-hmm.
And again, it might work temporarily, but long term, I think there's going to be a lack of fulfillment. There's going to be a
Yeah.
rumble. There's going to be an ache that isn't fulfilled, because
Mm-hmm.
we get satisfaction as humans, as soul and human, because the soul in us likes to create. It's a
Yeah.
constant creator. It likes to create. It's what it does. And we get fulfillment from that and happiness and joy. And so I think there's just going to be a lot of, well, we're going to see it again. It'll be the cycle of like a million things coming in, and then things, brands and people will die off because it was
Mm-hmm.
never rooted in authenticity and truth, and
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't have legs to weather the storms that it will
Yeah.
inevitably go through.
100%. And I mean, we saw that with COVID, right? Like there was this huge boom in the industry of everyone in their fucking dog is a coach now. And within like a year or two, so much of that had died off because people couldn't hack it. They couldn't, they hadn't walked their own gauntlet yet. And so, like running a business, like especially like a spiritual business, a business that's in service to something greater than yourself, which I'd say a lot of businesses actually are. Um, like that is a spiritual initiation. Like there's no way that you are not going to figure out what you're actually fucking made of when you start on the path of building a business. It'll show, it's like the clearest mirror you could ever ask for aside from a romantic partner. And like you are going to get tested, you're going to get stretched, you're going to like see all of your defense mechanisms, you're going to see everything about yourself. And that's so necessary to refine who we are and continue to tap into our power. And yet people rob themselves of that by quickly jumping on a bandwagon and being like, "Ooh, this is my get rich quick scheme." And then they got fucking taken out. They might have made some money. Like there were some people who like came in, made a fuck ton of money, but then the cost of that down the line, because they couldn't back it up, it wasn't integrated, was they literally destroyed their reputations.
Mhm.
And like it will be very difficult for someone like that to make a comeback after creating so much dissonance in the field. And I also just find it so fascinating that AI has come in on this thread of like this massive boom around embodiment. Because that was like the big fucking trendy thing in 2020. Everyone was talking about embodiment, 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 embodiment. And talking about embodiment and actually embodying embodiment are two different things, but that's a conversation for another day. But it's one of those things where if people are just talking about embodiment and not actually dropped into the expression of it, it makes total sense to me that something like AI would just pop up next. Because if you don't actually go through the drop in of embodiment down and into your body, learn how to be fully human, you will always be looking for the next thing to eject out. And AI is the perfect ejection out for people looking for it. Like you said, like you can use it and it be a very supportive tool. But if you use it to eject up and out, like I don't want to touch being human. I don't want to go through the hero's journey. Like I don't want to have to deal with anything difficult. I don't want life to refine me. I just want it to be easy. Well, then it makes total sense to me why this has gained so much momentum so fucking fast.
Yeah, it is the easy way out. And what's interesting is I'm hearing that a lot of people are using AI and ChatGPT to do things like break up with people
Yeah.
or to
Or like
respond
on a
to,
dating app.
yeah, or to respond to, you know, some the other day was like, it's like, oh yeah, I'm going through something. This is, challenging, blah, blah. They're like, oh, just pop it in ChatGPT and see what it tells you to say. I'm like,
Ew.
I can't even fathom me and myself doing that. Like I would literally, it was so cringe, and like my whole body was like constricted and rejected it, because I was like, I
Mm-hmm.
can't, like I have to feel it. And also like there's so much learning that happens through reflection of ourselves
Yep.
and taking responsibility for things. And when things don't go as planned or don't go like you thought they would, there's a lot of gold that can be sifted through, and
Yeah.
to look for that. And if we're just taking the easy route of being like, I don't know how to respond to this. So rather than like source personal responsibility and emotional intelligence and attune to this person,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to basically just block them out, and I'm just going to give them some fucking generic response. And it makes, I think, people feel more angry and unseen and unvalidated, and um, it lacks nuance and it lacks emotional like depth. And I think that in a world that's already triggered, dysregulated, and filled with trauma, this is like just another thing that's adding to that, is like, I
Mm-hmm.
don't have space for you and you're too much, so I can't handle you. And so
Mm-hmm.
again, I'm so busy trying to produce that I
Right.
don't have time for this. And so
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to like give you some response that's half-assed,
Mm-hmm.
or quarter-assed, or a
Mm-hmm.
hundredth assed, and off you go. And I don't know how to deal with it. So I don't think we're learning great skills and relational building. And I
No.
really do believe that when it comes back to, again, business or anything, it is a relationship and a
Mm-hmm.
connection game. And like I didn't build, we're not building a business so that I don't have to deal with people.
Right.
Right? Like
Like,
I'm that's all that goes against everything. Like I want that, and it comes with challenge and heartache and
yeah.
frustration, right? For you and I, you and I have experienced that when we work with people in the club or in our private containers or whatever we're doing, in whatever form or capacity. You and I are very multi-passionate and multifaceted. We want that connection. We want to feel the full range of it all, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we want to attune to people and be with people, and it is the harder way to go,
Yeah.
because it does require reflection, and it does require sometimes, like, damn it, that didn't go the way we really wanted to, and let us look at our attachment to that, or maybe our over responsibility for that, or maybe like there's just so much gold that we can pan for. So I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
it just feels like a way that we're just becoming more disconnected. And um, I think that we build our expansion, we build that next up leveled version of ourselves and that new identity through going through the hard things. So
Yeah.
even though AI is a quick fix and a fast way to get there, it's a cheap way to get there. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's like a way, like the thing that just popped in my mind was like cheap fast fashion versus like really,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, I'm not shitting on things. There's been times I've had to do stuff like that. I haven't had the resources to do it. But I think that in general, it's like the excessive consumption of like more and more, and I don't care. It's just cheap, and I don't care, and like I'll dispose of it and I'll throw it away if I, versus buying something that it takes longer to build. It might be more expensive and might require more, but there's this like appreciation and deep reverence in
Mm-hmm.
holding that object or holding that material or holding whatever it is,
Yeah.
you know? And I know for me, like I sometimes used to go and buy like 5 things of something if they were cheap. I'd get one like in every color. And
Mm-hmm.
then what did I always wear? I'd wear like the one staple piece that cost me like 8 times it, but I'm obsessed with.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it's just like looking at like more is not more. It's around like what lights you up, feels really good, and like quality over quantity. And I think that AI is really building this like kind of sometimes lifeless copy or this lifeless um, words that are filling what like a space versus like a deep raw post or something that's
Mm-hmm.
just vulnerable or something that's true. You can feel it
Yeah.
vibrationally and energetically for sure. So
100%. And I think, I've had a lot of conversations like more on the artistic side of my life of people being freaked out like, well, what if like AI replaces writers and poets and songwriters, and I'm not concerned
I call
about it.
bullshit. I call
Yeah,
bullshit on that. I don't. That
same.
doesn't
It
freak me out at all.
it doesn't freak me out at all because like I'm always going to have something to create from as long as I'm in the game of my life. When I stop living the game of my life, when I start playing small, when I start stepping back, that's when I don't have shit to write about. That's when I get writer's block. But when I really lean into life and like taste the fucking rainbow and like let myself have the full range experience, there is no shortage of creative energy that is pummeling through my veins. And like I mean, listen, some of the AI songs that I hear are so fucking funny, especially the country ones. They are so ridiculous. They're so ridiculous. And there's a time and place and I find them hilarious, but I can always tell that it's an AI song
Mm-hmm.
because they they're pulling from what's already been created, first of
Yeah.
all. So it's not really any different from someone who like steals and like repurposes and plagiarizes. They
Mm-hmm.
can only take what you have already created. That's the template that they're building from. They don't know how to actually generate it themselves. So they're always going to be 10 steps behind. And if you, as the creator, are generating material just through your own being and your own experience, you're always 10 steps ahead. Like, no one can actually catch you. And the same with AI, it's kind of creating based on what has been. It's not necessarily generating new, innovative thought or new, innovative creation. And so, like, to me, if you are a leader, if you are creative, like, if you are an icon, like you're gonna be okay. Like, but it's gonna require you to stay in the pocket of your expression. And again, like if you get so plugged into this whole discourse around it, that's what leaks your energy. It's literally trying to siphon your power. And so if you just don't plug into it and you're like, okay, it's here, it you know it's gonna be part of the vortex here. I'm just gonna keep minding my own business. I'm gonna go touch some fucking grass. I'm gonna go hug a tree. I'm gonna go watch a bee like fall asleep in a fucking flower. And I'm gonna go and take my notebook out and I'm gonna write, or I'm gonna fucking touch my pussy and have an orgasm. Like, there are all of these things that I can do to make sure that I am vitally alive, and as long as I am vitally alive, I will always have something to create about. And like it's just not even a competition. Like, there's the authenticity of true creation, and then there's the artificial intelligence of creation on that side, and you can feel the difference. And your people are going to be able to feel the difference. And if they can't, they aren't your people. And maybe they'll be your people at some point when they get burned by AI and someone who, promised the moon, and then you had a real conversation and you're like, you are a fucking idiot. Like, what the fuck? And then this is again, like, do your due diligence, people.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't get caught in the hype. People get caught in the hype all the time. That's what marketing is. And so if you do your due diligence, if you watch someone long enough, if you have a conversation with them, you'll know whether or not what they're talking or teaching about is integrated or not. You'll feel it. There will be a congruence there versus someone who is using AI. If you see them on a live show, they're going to fumble around like an idiot because they are. And what they're presenting online is not the same as what is true in reality. And so again, you've got to be a sovereign adult here, and like, again, you can't be looking for the quick fix.
Oh, this is so good. First of all, I saw it when you were talking about like go out and live your life and like taste the rainbow or whatever you said, and like all I saw was you getting like showered with with Skittles. It was like super weird. I was like, whoa, that's a weird visual. I just got like I saw you like standing there in Skittles just like
Yeah.
raining down on you, and you being like like opening your mouth and
Well, I
like
mean, that
taste
was
the
their
rainbow.
marketing, and so it
Okay.
worked really good.
That's so good. Um, I love that. And just again, like to what you're saying is like the energy and what I keep seeing right now is that it's from like when you're in a plane. Okay, so like on when you're on the ground floor sometimes and you're living your life, it can feel like it's just like a swampy soup of just like everyone's energy.
Yeah.
And that reminded me of what you were saying about the AI pool. Like AI is just pulling from data points and from that has already been created in 3D. And there's
Hmm.
a lot of people who are meant to live in that.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's not a judgment, it's not like a negative thing. It's just more of like there are people who are in, and that's why I
Hmm.
think why AI works really well for them in their business, even if it's coaching. Like it's just one of those things.
Yeah.
Like there's an energetic match, and I think there's people
Totally.
who are unplugged from themselves, and so somebody using AI is like the perfect match for them, and so it makes
Totally.
perfect sense. And that's I think why people are seeing success from people, and even mass success from people who are using AI, because it's like there's a lot of unconscious people who are like yes,
Hmm. Hmm.
right, and so they're like boom, but what we're speaking to and what we are really plugged into, if you will, is like when you get into an airplane and you go above and it looks like it's all cloudy and like, it's just like, almost like dense. And you get above the clouds and there's this like magic and it's just blue
Hmm.
sky and sunshine. And you're like, wait, what the fuck? And it's this like higher level of consciousness. This is where the leaders, the visionaries, the icons, the people who are here to change the planet, who are here to usher in that new earth, that new way of being, the material that we're speaking to is not the stuff that has been developed yet. It is the
Yeah.
stuff that is we're, as our human, regulating ourselves and raising our vibration to get in that like superhuman, that super state, if you will. When you're feeling open and connected and you're feeling safe in your body and you're feeling safe in your experience, it like literally unlocks this magic. It's like higher level songs, it's frequencies, like a radio
Hmm.
station you're tuning into that's like, here's the new stuff, like here's the stuff that hasn't been created, just like back in the
Hmm.
day when the Wright brothers were tuned into how to build an airplane, or like
Hmm.
Einstein, electricity. Like it's like all these new things that are ushering in. Those are the people that we're interested in bringing into the club, right?
Yeah.
That caliber, that person. And it's only going to be through unconventional raw material and data that they're going to receive it. And you know what I mean? Like that's what I'm seeing is that we're not, AI is great for what has been built, but if we're looking to design and build and vision a new planet, a new way of being, we need us unplugged from the matrix and in the mass material market and into something that is new and refreshing and doesn't make a lot of sense,
Hmm.
and going against the grain and going against what a lot of people are doing right now. And so it's just an invitation that if you have seen AI work for people, it's like that's amazing and it will work for people and it's great and fantastic. And what if that's not your path? What if you are here and like saying less is more, and you being more relaxed and regulated and in your body and in that optimal state is the magic that's going to have you usher in that new project, that new thing, that new offering, that new creation that only you can bring forth. And so I think our job is to like really unplug from the noise and like the chaos and just put ourselves in that state and trust that like what we bring through, it's like I keep hearing like one post or one piece of material is that is like channeled from source or who you
Hmm.
truly are is like 100 times more potent and powerful than
Hmm.
100 AI posts.
Hmm. Hmm.
So like what if we could believe that that is the new normal, that is
Yeah.
that is the true thing, because what we believe is true. Our
Yep.
subconscious will look for evidence based on what we believe. So it's playing with some ideas and some thoughts like that. And if you do notice yourself getting um, taken out or in fear mode from AI, like, oh my God, what is it? I've seen a lot of creators
Yeah.
getting really freaked out, like panicked. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, number one, like who fucking cares? Like AI is just like anything else. Like let it
Hmm.
exist. Like, can I
Yeah.
let it exist? you know? And if robots are going to take over the world, just like if nuclear bombs are going to bomb us, like, what am I going to fucking do about it?
Yeah, it's just gonna
Am I going to sit
happen.
here and stress? Exactly. Am I going to sit here and stress? Like, there's no fucking point. How about I just stay plugged into my North Star? What do I want to see in the world? What do I want to create? And get myself into an optimal state so I can channel and download the keys and the codes and the magic to
Hmm.
be able to translate it into humanity. And then hopefully wake some fucking people up and start turning
Hmm.
this
Float
dumpster of a
around.
world around. Yeah. Turn the boat around. Turn the boat around. Right? And we just need more people who aren't getting taken out because we don't realize that what we fight and what we fear.
We strengthen.
Exactly, and it takes us out. It takes us out of our power, and we lose the connection. It's like siphoning the connection off, and so it's
Hmm.
like it's a waste of fucking time, and we
Yeah,
need to stop immediately.
100%. Like there's so much trickster energy in it.
Hmm.
And like to me, I find that so fascinating because I'm like, oh, like these are like the moments where people are at a crossroads of like, what timeline are you going to jump to? Are you going to collapse into a timeline where, things are just going to be a lot harder and you're going to have to hustle and grind? Or are you going to jump to the timeline where, like you said, if you do a post that's channeled from a true, authentic place, the potency of that is so intense that uh, you probably have to do one of those for, like you said, every 10 AI ones. And even the 10 AI ones may not produce any sort of tangible results, but you post one thing that really hits someone and they're like, oh yeah, I feel that in my body. Like your content or your expression made me feel something. I have never felt anything from AI except annoyed. That's what I feel. When I read it, I'm fucking annoyed. I'm like, where is you? Like, where's your authentic voice? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to hear. I don't want to hear this regurgitated shit. Like, I'm not interested. But when I read something that is true and real, I can feel the clunk of truth of that in my body. But if I was walking around disconnected, like from, the neck up, I would not be able to feel that distinction. So again, it comes back to like being in your body. Embodiment is being in your body. And if you can't be with your emotions, you will not be able to be in your body. And if you can't be in your body, how are you ever going to determine what's real and fake? It's very difficult.
Yep.
So
Yep. So,
go touch some grass.
sorry. That's our yikes for you today.
Hmm.
It's not
Hmm.
as spicy and sizzly as some of the past ones, but it feels very like it's yikes in a different way. It's like
Yeah.
yikes, like if we don't, we're not in a. I'm not ever in like a doom and gloom, like we're
No.
too far gone. I mean, we never are. I think it's just more, we want to put this food for thought out to you to
Yeah.
have a look at your relationship with AI, and do you have fears about it? Are you using it a lot? Are you outsourcing more than you'd like to it? And I want you just to play with those questions of like, what if I don't need this? And what if what I post in my truth and in my rawness and in my messiness and in my imperfection is actually the thing that people are really craving, and what they're really wanting. And I
Hmm.
know this is why you and I keep in a lot of our like random takes, or like if my daughter comes in, it's like, "Ma'am, can I watch YouTube?" Or like,
Hmm.
or the thing cutting crapping out,
Hmm.
Riverside crapping out, or whatever these things, like we like to keep in these
Real
um,
moments.
real moments, right? Or in the Panther podcast, and I'm like, oh, look, a squirrel, or 222, oh my God. And I'm like, right? It's like, because that's life. And so, like
Yeah.
you were saying, we don't want it to be where there's this incongruence of who we are, this perfectly polished
Hmm.
person online, and then people meet us in reality, and they're like, ooh, right?
That's not the same.
That's not the same. We want there to be a
Alignment.
alignment, yeah, between the two. And I think there's a lot of power that. And then also what happens is if we are using AI and then we're afraid to go out and actually like speak or do the bigger things because we're afraid, this is where shadow again comes in, is like, oh, I'm this person and I know it. And fuck, so I don't want people to see me and know this, so I'm going to stay small. So it will, like, you
Hmm.
know what I mean? It's one of those like karmic things that just kind of like,
Hmm.
it sort of like comes up at like whack-a-moles in some other way where it keeps us small. So it may give us a lot of visibility, or a lot of whatever it is, but it just kind of misses the mark, I think, for the consciousness of the planet. And I think I think authenticity is going to be the winner in this all, a winner in the game. It always is. Nature has a way of restoring balance regardless. I mean, she's a fucking badass. She's like,
Yeah.
oh, you know what? You're
Nature
being
is authentic.
asshats.
Yeah.
I'm going to be fucking, it's chaotic and it's wild and there's tornadoes and there's hurricanes and there's tsunamis and there's destruction and there's raw power. I mean, it's fucking nuts. But it is, I never get really too worried because Mother Nature knows what's up and she's always making
She's
the
gonna
pendulum
reset it
swing.
one way
Yeah,
or another.
it's almost like she's like sitting back, like fucking hacking a dart, being like, "This is so fun. I'm gonna throw, you know what? I'm gonna throw in robots and AI. Let's
Robots.
see what the humans do with this one. Oh, let's throw in a pandemic. Let's see how fun that is. It's like,
Yeah.
what is that? Not the Hunger Games. Is the Hunger Games or like Squid Games or all those shit? Like whatever. I haven't watched Squid Games, but like it's. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like being like, let's go.
Let's see
like fucking.
what they do
Let's
this
see what
time.
happens here. Yeah, for sure. And I think the more we can keep a lens of neutrality and really be aware of like, which wolf, if you will, we're feeding. Like, what are we feeding, and what are we wanting to see more of, and what's in alignment with us and our resonance and our soul, and just keep focusing in on that and not getting distracted and sidelined and taken out by fear or whatever the new thing, shiny thing that's coming in to distract us essentially from our mission. It's just get out of it. Like, and it doesn't mean putting the head in the sand. It's not more spiritually bypassing. It's just noticing that and being like, okay, I see that. And, what is my relationship going to be with it? And do I want to imagine that this thing has power over me? Like, even when COVID happened, even when it came in, like, I was like, and people were freaking out. And I was like, this shot has no, like, I took a really long time to even get the shot. But when I did finally, it was this like relationship with it being like, this doesn't have power over me. And I'm not even going to for a second going to buy into that. I'm not for or against. I don't really care what people do. It's their bodies. And so, but it was just having a lot more of like neutral lens. And I find the more I can have that is like seeing things from both sides but just being like, what is authentic and real for me, and just sticking with that and not trying to force anybody to believe the same thing I do. Is just being like, I'm okay with this and this feels authentic and true to me, and I'm just going to stick with that. Like, that's the way to really be in our power, which is
100%.
everything we do in Club Unhinged, and also why you should come join us if you're feeling this conversation is igniting something in you, because this is where Club Unhinged is where the real raw trailblazing leaders are coming together to build community, to walk shoulder to shoulder towards the things that light them up and lighting up the world in the meantime, and becoming the most like powerful badass versions of themselves who are unapologetic and free-spirited and expressed and are not in a trauma response. They're like living powerfully and really stepping into their magic and mastery, and it's like where people are really coming alive and lit up, and where things start magnetizing to you because of what a strong energy you are. So if that's your vibe, we are open. The club doors are open for the rest of July. We book an interview if you apply. You can get that in the show notes. You can apply to the club, and doesn't mean you're accepted. It just means that we'll set up an interview with you if we see a lot of alignment there. And Kelsey and I will be meeting with you on Zoom in person just to get a feel for you and your vibe, and from there,
So you can see that we're real and not robots.
Yeah, exactly. And the club doors only open a couple times a year, so it's a great time. The investment will also be significantly increasing in the fall. We just want to, and that's not to scare you, it's just to inform you that if you have been on the fence, it's a really great time to step into that. So if you want to come fully alive, turn the fuck on, fully embraced in your humans, you can handle the shit, anything that comes your way with power and resilience and a lot of prosperity, consciousness, we are your people. So come find us.
Come find us. All of that will be in the show notes, and then we will be back next week with something different. And we love you. Thank you for taking the time. And we'd also love to hear your thoughts. Like, where are you at in the conversation with AI? And get in touch with us. Let us know. Let's have a chat about it. We are so curious to see how it's really landing for everybody. And until next time, friends, we'll talk to you soon. Bye.
We love you. Bye.
All in all, we want to say thank you for being here. We love and appreciate you so much. And if you liked today, give us a 5-star rating, and we'll see you next week.
And share it. If you know somebody who needs this in their life, share this shit. Abundance goes round and round. We love you.
We love you. Bye.